Charles Bronson was born Charles Dennis Buczynski and used this name for most of his life. In fact, film credits from his early years mention him as Charles Dennis Buczynski. Charles decided to change his name to Bronson after his friend Steve McQueen suggested that Bronson is a far better screen name. One day he and Steve McQueen were enjoying a ride, and McQueen saw a street sign called Bronson. McQueen thought the name was perfect for Charles, and that's how Charles Dennis Buczynski came to be known as Charles Bronson. He started smoking at age 9. No one knows what made him start smoking at such an early age. Many believe it could have something to do with the fact that he grew up in abject poverty, and perhaps life was far too difficult for him as a child. He was the 11th of his parents' 15 children. The family struggled to make ends meet, so much so that Bronson had to sometimes wear his sister's clothes to school. At the age of 10, he quit school and began working with his father in a coal mine. The job required putting in hours of hard work and working in subhuman conditions. It was perhaps to keep himself sane in such challenging times that Bronson began to indulge in tobacco use. Unfortunately, this early habit became Bronson's bane as he died of metastatic lung cancer. He learned English on his own. Bronson's parents were from southern Lithuania, and therefore the family conversed in Lithuanian and not English. However, most of the children who went to Bronson's school didn't speak English either, so the language wasn't an issue for him during his school days. However, Bronson learned English on his own, which resulted in a very thick accent. And it was during his years in the Air Force that Bronson's accent became a problem. It often made the other soldiers think he was from another country, even when he was born and brought up in the U.S. Bronson worked in the coal mines for almost 12 years. At the age of 22, he enlisted in the U.S. Air Force and was a member of the 760th Gunnery Training Squadron during World War II. In 1945, he was promoted to the rank of a Boeing B-29 Superfortress aerial gunner, and as a member of the Guam-based 61st Bombardment Squadron, Bronson carried out 25 missions against the Japanese. Bronson met his future wife Jill Ireland in 1962. Jill was then married to actor David McCallum, and the story goes that after meeting Jill, Bronson told McCallum he would eventually marry his wife. Bronson married Jill on October 5, 1968, and the two remained married until Jill died in 1990. Jill and Bronson lived in a lavish Bel Air mansion in LA with their 7 children. Bronson often accepted projects on the condition that Jill would star as his on-screen leading lady. The couple therefore did a total of 15 films together. Bronson was a family man and took his wife and children everywhere he went. Other than the mansion in LA, Bronson also kept a farmhouse called the Zulika Farm, named after Bronson and Jill's only daughter together, in West Windsor, Vermont. He was a major movie star in Europe. The U.S. took a while to realize Bronson's true caliber, and it was in Europe that the actor first tasted success as a major movie star.